Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Old Sun Podcast, DB, Cheech Nation, Donnie Ray Daytona. This episode brought to you by Rock Roll Denim, Reflex. Donnie and I are both sporting the cause. He texted me this morning and asked me what shirt I was going to wear, and I didn't know it meant he was going to also wear it.
It's not the same shirt.
Twinsies.
But essentially, we're not sponsored specifically by their Reflex, but I designated that myself because that's all I can wear now because of the mobility. Have you tried it yet?
I got mine on right now.
Donnie?
I have a pair on as well.
As well. In well. If it's in a well, I don't want the job. It's an office reference. Thank you, Rock Roll Denim and Reflex, for giving us the mobility we need to ranch hard, to keep at 90, to be on to the next one, to go 90 in Maine, Spain, Spokane, Fort Wayne, and Alabama. Now to the podcast. Donnie, did you sleep good last night?
Yes.
Rodeo time. Gotta get her on down the road.
So was I when I woke up this morning.
So was I.
I woke up at 7:45.
Rodeo time.
I woke up at 7:30. I've been waking up at 7:30, like on the dot here in the past week or so.
Is that early for you?
No, it's not. But I can't figure out my alarm on this phone. It's like, so it doesn't ring loud enough to wake me up.
You don't know how to turn it up?
I don't. No.
Do you want me to show you?
I'm gonna have to look it up. I know how to
When
set the
you're facing
alarm.
the screen,
I know how to set the alarm.
you got these buttons on the side.
Why? That shouldn't affect the noise level of the alarm.
It does, though.
Your ringtone level should not. That's what's
See
stupid
that?
about these
Ringer.
phones.
It can be on silent, and you still have the ringer up or down.
Why don't we explain why?
You can turn the ringer all the way up, but put it on silent, and your
alarm will still go off loud?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's stupid.
Why is that stupid?
Because
it's volume buttons.
It shouldn't matter. Your volume on your alarm should be the same all the time.
Welcome to the world of Apple, Donnie.
Am I not wrong? Like, why?
I disagree because I don't like to wake anybody else up, and like I got my alarm on the bottom setting, on the ringer as low as it can go, and it wakes me up because I'm a light sleeper. Like I can hear a mouse fart, but if there's other people around, I don't want them to wake up.
I'm not a light
I'm just
sleeper.
saying I could see why you don't like the feature. I like the feature. Are you sure that you're not just like subconsciously against all things Apple?
Are you still fighting it?
Yeah, it's stupid. These
Are you
phones
still-
suck. They suck.
Give us another reason.
There's no vibrate mode. Like,
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, there is. Mine vibrates all the time.
yeah, it vibrates when it rings. Like it.
But you can set it to vibrate.
Mine just vibrated just now. I got a text.
Boom. Mine just went off and it vibrated.
What else you got?
I don't know. They're stupid. The
Dude,
service doesn't.
I will say that they don't vibrate near as hard as whatever kind of phone you had. Whenever your phone you'd get a text, it felt like the first gen was starting up. Like I felt like I was
Like it was set for like old man. Like I call it when the ringer is really loud. I call it old man ringtone. 'Cause
borderline
it's really loud.
like rattle the like earthquake.
I don't ever have my ringtone on.
Like
I
a 90s pager.
just vibrate.
Yeah, but your vibrate when it's on a table is louder than most people's ringtone. Well, at least on your own phone. What else you got?
Your texts are a lot better, Donnie.
Yeah, they're blue. They're not green.
Yeah, well, whoop-de-doo.
That's
color-
a big deal.
No, it's not.
Yes, it
Okay,
is.
the service.
SMS.
They don't get near as good service.
I don't know.
They don't.
Did you have an antenna on yours?
No.
Oh.
Your
Mine's
phone's
on vibrate right now.
Yeah.
Yep, that's why we ought to look down at it. Well, welcome to iPhone family. Even though you aren't excited about being part of this family, we're happy to have you here. We're also happy to have Cheech here.
Yeah, I'm glad to
are.
be here. And I will be with you guys in just a second as soon as I reply.
It's interfering.
So
with
Yeah,
the
we can all.
microphone.
Everybody can hear it. Even the podcasters listening. It's going.
Really?
Yeah.
I think y'all are just a bunch of sissy nanas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Androids don't do that.
Well, there is something that, aside from Donnie hating Apple products, but I know he's going to come accustomed to it because, he edits with an Apple product and now his phone, and he's just going to get so much more work done, I feel. He's going to be a lot more efficient. What's also going to help Donnie this year is, as we all know, the NFR is not going to be in Vegas, and it's going to help Donnie. And let me tell you guys why it's going to help Donnie. Because in Texas, there's no legal gambling. Donnie, legal gambling is not allowed in Texas. So I feel like your financial situation in Texas during the NFR is going to be a lot better. Yeah. Because they'll explain to us, we have an alter ego name for Donnie when he gets around casinos and legal gambling. You want to tell him your alter ego name?
Ramblin' Ronnie.
I thought Ronnie was your brother.
Yeah, well, that's what Cheech called me yesterday.
Ramblin' Ronnie is a guy like you have never seen before. He is... Does anybody know anybody that's compulsive when they get around certain things? Ramblin' Ronnie can get compulsive really quick at a blackjack table. He went to go get $100 out of the ATM, came back when your face was on the table at where was it at the Mirage? Yeah. So at the Mirage, you had a couple of your tables. Okay, he leaves to go get $100. He comes back, and this guy sits down. He's just a random dude, just minding his own business in Vegas, playing blackjack, and all of a sudden, Ramblin' Rick gets cold sweats. He gets mad. He legitimately is this close from getting kicked out of the casino. He is livid.
That's a little extreme.
You were extreme.
No, I was mad. I wasn't that mad. Everybody we knew was sitting at that table. Like, we knew every single person at that table. There was about 6 of us. And then there's one left open seat, and I was like,
call him what you called him yesterday.
I gotta get some cash. And I go to the ATM and come back, and this guy literally sits down right in front of me. Like, it's not his fault, obviously.
I think he sped up. I think he when somebody's like 2 people are going for the same parking lot or the same seat, like he walked a little faster and slid in there and got in there and started playing and Ramblin' Rick.
I can see how that would frustrate you.
I wanted to play. And he was winning.
If we would have had the day off today, and there would be a solid 24 hours of like leeway time, I feel that Donnie.
We were gonna go to Vegas.
That's exactly what we have today.
Yeah, but we're here for the podcast, and
okay.
But we're here because we have to, we got other obligations to do. But Donnie, go ahead and speak up. Like what you were saying. What were we gonna do?
We were gonna go to Vegas and change our lives.
Dude, you finally start getting ahead with some money. Start stacking.
We were gonna change our lives.
Donnie said this is the most.
This is what I'm talking about.
This is the most money he's ever had in his life. How is that not already? Your life has already been changed.
You were gonna change it.
You were gonna
one way or the other. We were gonna change it. Either I was gonna run out of money, or I was. Donnie was
already. Go ahead.
You were gonna double change it.
Yeah.
Donnie was gonna do kind of like Rodman when he played for the Bulls, and he asked for 48 hours, and 48 hours turned into about 4 or 5, maybe a week.
Yeah, 96 of them.
Yeah.
What was that? I think it FedEx that the CEO was down to his last $5,000, and he went to Vegas and gambled it and turned it into like $36,000, and then turned the company around.
Exactly.
Was it FedEx?
I don't know.
I think it was FedEx. Somebody
fact check. It could be rodeo time.
But dude, that's one of those stories that gets you in trouble.
You got to be careful. Listen,
TRO.
It's a gamble. It's a gamble. Nothing like.
See this guy right now? He was about to. You guys almost seen Ramblin' Rick right here. He's got the sweats. He's got the goosebumps. He's got the feeling.
That dude risked it. Whoever that story was about, that dude risked it all, and he knew what he was doing. He knew it was either make or break, sink or swim, and it was go time. And he laid it all on the line.
So
hey, And a lot of times it don't pan out like that. But the one time it does.
Look
Yeah.
how he comes alive when you talk about gambling.
Let's party, you know?
Let's party.
Smoke him if you got him is
Yeah.
Ramblin' Rick's rule. Number 1,
Yeah.
chapter 3.
Randy used to be like that going to Vegas.
Yeah, that's what he said. That's what he's telling me.
He slowed down.
He's like,
the
you gotta
last
be
few
okay
years.
with losing what you're playing. Just imagine it's gone already. Just
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Yeah, no, that's true. There's also moments, and a dealer told me this once too. He was like, you can't just bet the minimum every hand and win.
Yeah.
Like when you get on a roll and you got momentum, like you got to bet more.
Yeah.
That's how you beat the house. Like when you get on a little run and you feel yourself on a run, but then you also got to have that feeling like you're okay with losing it, because if you've got $600 total and then all of a sudden like you get on 2, 3, 4, and then you now you bet a $300 hand, you got to be okay
Hey,
with losing $300.
it's house money.
The second night that I was there, we went to, I call the Westgate the Ghetto Gate, and me and a friend of mine, Justin Sanderlin, we started playing craps at 6 o'clock. By, I don't know, by about 7:30, 7:20ish, we both had about $900 in our hand. Now, that was like really quick, and we both knew like that rarely happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like that's not something that just happens, because the rest of the time I was in Vegas, it was a roller coaster ride.
Yeah, I've stayed in a lot of casinos in Vegas. I've stayed at Tropicana, South Point, MGM, Monte Carlo, the Aria, the MGM Park when they changed it, the Monte Carlo. I've stayed at Westgate. I like the Westgate,
I do too.
but my favorite is the Mirage.
Yeah.
Just because the layout of the casino floor
Mm-hmm.
and the like, I love all the vegetation when you first walk in. They got that like
The
it's
feng
like
shui,
what's
the
it?
jungle.
It's almost
That
like a
ain't the
little
place to
greenhouse.
gamble, old son.
That's where I've won a lot of money.
The
at
blackjack tables
Mirage.
there are constantly
Ramblin' Rick's here,
shuffling.
y'all. Ramblin' Rick is here.
Constantly shuffling, and
Dude.
like throughout the whole thing. You
We've
gotta
lost
go,
him.
You
They've
gotta,
been
lost
good to
him.
me.
you gotta go to a place where the deal, like, because you don't have a chance to get hot. Like, a deck can be hot or cold, and when they're constantly shuffling, you can't read that.
Ramblin' Rick's done his research.
But I also take into consideration a lot of other things, you know, because I enjoy gambling, but I'm not going to gamble for 14 days straight. So I need a good layout. I want good food. I want, like, when the VIP party or the
Yeah.
after party or
Yeah.
whatever, like, it's just right around the corner.
Yep.
But it's huge. Like, it's got everything. You got the watch party. And every casino has it, but the layouts are different. And I would
Yeah.
say my second favorite is Westgate. You
Yeah.
know, I like the Westgate.
I don't know if I've been to the Westgate.
I've probably stayed at MGM the most, you know, and they got a pretty good layout, you know, especially whenever you start walking towards the towers. Like, they got all that stuff down there. But Aria, I stayed in that when it was like brand new. You want to talk about bougie? That
Yeah.
one is bougie.
Don't touch anything.
I stayed at the Mandalay Bay about 10 years ago, 15 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
It's a nice hotel.
What's the Luxor? I stayed in the
Oh,
Luxor.
Luxor's right there?
Luxor's
Yeah.
all right. That one's pretty good.
They have a sweet game room at the Luxor.
So the other one that I haven't stayed in yet, but I know it got redone. I like the Orleans too. I like going into the Orleans, but
I've never been there.
I like the Rio. And then I think it just recently got
What's that pancake place? Freaking A. Golly.
Denny's?
No, forget Denny's, bro.
I was
What's
kinda
that, what's
thinking-
that pancake place, man?
IHOP.
No. Hash House A Go-Go. If you go to Vegas, you got to eat at Hash House A Go-Go. There's one, I want to say it's at the Link. Yep,
Never
it's at the
heard of it.
Link. There's one on the Strip. It's at the Link. There's another one like downtown. Not downtown, but like it's out of town. It's north of the interstate. But anyway, you got to go to Hash House A Go-Go. Ruth's Chris is in Harrah's, or Del Frisco's. It's on like Maryland Street. Those three places. There's across from Del Frisco's and down the street a little ways. There's a a sushi place. There's a couple really good sushi places, but that one's like. Remember we ate there? Were any of y'all with me?
I don't think so.
My granddad called me whenever, or my grandmother called me when my granddad died.
No, I didn't work for you then.
That was me, Leroy, Greasy Baby, and one other person. There's 4 of us.
And Randall.
Yeah, bingo.
Yeah.
But anyway, that sushi place is the bomb, and it's right down from that steakhouse. Where was that?
Derek Begay actually owes me Benihana's.
Yeah.
I forgot what the bet was, but I know he owes me. So Derek Begay, if you're watching this and paying attention, I still haven't forgotten.
Derek Begay ain't watching this. He's too busy roping Mavericks in the cactus.
I mean,
I would love that if he was, but he ain't watching this.
No, he is. He's probably got AirPods and his phone in his pocket, service out in the desert, and he is tracking Mavericks.
Doubt it. He leads them out, old son. You got to take that cable with you. That way you can cut off their left horn.
Mm-hmm.
That way they don't hook you, because when you lead them on your right, it's their left, and you don't want them hooking you with that left horn.
I think he does a little, he entices them to be a little gentler after he gets them roped and tied down.
Speaking of something not gentle.
Your boy. Both of y'all's boys.
Yeah, my name's Carl Wayne. I got 2 DUIs. We can't talk about it. Contractually obligated to not talk about it right now. You're going to hear and see about it here in several months. We'll talk about it. But that's all we need to know. That boy wild. That's why, like, right now we've got a day off, but we are working on something that went down yesterday with Carl Wayne, and it was aggressive.
It went down, and I mean, it was like NASCAR motor and go-kart brakes is about Carl Wayne's speed.
What happened on Easter? What were you? Oh, you roped that little baby calf.
And that one was hard. Like, I thought that one was on level.
That was a baby, though.
Yeah, no, but it was harder to.
Did you rope it?
Yes.
Were you on Nacho?
I was. He was harder to rope than Carl. He was harder to rope than Carl Wayne is, because remember that calf? He would like get in the brush and then like
lay down.
He would lay down and hide, and like his ears looked like cactus, like they look like pears, and so like if you moved, he would just jump up. I'm serious, like a rabbit, and I mean he was gone. And as soon, he would never go into the open field, and I knew Nacho isn't just the fastest, but when he gets his momentum going, he catches it takes him a minute to get go, like really, really fast.
Yeah.
But when he gets going really, really fast, I'm not saying he's going to beat Dale Brisby, but he can track him. But that calf hit a gear, and Nacho and I left at the same time. We caught up to this calf, luckily, because he literally was like a rabbit going through the brush. He lay down.
Dude, that was a wild day.
It was supposed to be like 20 minutes, and it turned into Easter Sunday.
2 hours and 20 minutes. That was me, you, and Wes, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was before Donnie got here. Remember Wes was on Boone?
Wes was on Boone. It was his first time ever being on a horse and in the pasture.
That's
And
right.
Wes looked this way, that way, and we said, "Did you see him go?" And I'll never forget it. He said, "Did I see what go?" And I was like, catching cattle.
I remember putting him in the middle of that pasture. I was like, "You be our eyeballs. Give us a yelp if you see this calf."
Yeah.
Oh, man, that sucker was all over the place, back and forth. And, like, if you didn't, like, watch him through the, in his Easter, so, like, all the trees were just starting to bud. And that's another reason why if you can get your cows gathered in early spring, all those mesquite trees, without vegetation on them, they're a little easier. Anyways, yeah.
I'm just going to go ahead and say this.
But if I got to rope something,
catching cattle with
taking DB. I'm taking my man Blue Boy, a.k.a. George Foreman, a.k.a. Dale Brisby, a.k.a. the Spirited Gray.
Where was this? In LaGrange?
No, this was at Radiator Ranch.
Oh.
Yeah. It was here.
Right out my back door.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whose calf was it?
Mine. I had there were some sale barn cows.
Oh.
And wild. And there was 5 sale barn cows. They all calved, and I was selling them. And the cow had come in, and we'd caught her. Mm-hmm. And then the calf was outside the pen.
I think the next time when you and I go to catch cattle, not that I don't think Nacho is capable, but I'm going to tell you who the gamer is. I think I do like the spirited gray. I like Del Brisby, but I think I'm going to try and ride maybe Buckethead.
Buckethead's dependable. He's been hooked enough, like by Carl Wayne and just him. The few times I've had to rope Carl Wayne on Buckethead, like he's been hooked, and that joker will. And it's most horses, rodeo horses get hooked and they get kind of scared about it.
He's gonna not,
and he'll kind of move out. He's not gonna put you in a bind, like he'll still face up, but he's shooting left. That's some buck comes after you.
I think Buckethead and I we would get along really good. So
you're free to ride him.
Can I?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
But just don't make The other thing I want to get clear, just don't make. I do love catching cattle. I do. But it seems like when I go with the legendary Del Brisby to go catch cattle, oh yeah, it's real easy. It's just right over here. I seen him the other day, and yeah, it's super simple, and we're just gonna ride out there, and he'll go right out in the open, and we'll just rope him and tie him down, and we'll just load him and go. When Del Brisby calls you and he says, "Hey, I gotta go catch a cow," be prepared. Be prepared. Don't take like 2 little boxes of ammunition. Take you plenty of weapons.
How come you don't tie off?
Me?
Like out in that wheat field kind of setting we were in.
In the wheat field?
No wrong answer. Just curious.
I like being able to dally, and I like because on cows, I don't mind doing it on wheat pasture cattle, but Maverick cattle, I don't tie on to. I like to dally. Because I feel like I can still stay close enough to undally and get away from them and let them come by. And then like if they come up the rope, I think dallying, it's just all handling rope. It really is. I tell you, I got in a wreck one time, tied off, and it was my fault. I let a little slack in the line. My horse stepped over it, and I went to ride off, and I in the middle of all of it, I didn't realize that my horse had stepped across it over, and I had to cut the rope, obviously, and I just in the middle of all the action, because it gets going pretty western there pretty quick.
Yeah. But I got you. I understand. There's no wrong answer. I'm not against dallying. I can't dally as good, So
did you? And so yesterday I was in a situation to where I could step off, and stay tied on, And I feel like
he'll work the crap out of a rope.
If
Nacho will,
I feel like if you're riding something that you can do both on, I teach my horses basically, if they can stand and keep a rope tied and you can step off of them and they can keep that line tight, but I want them to be able to do both, just like myself. I like to do both. But in a wheat pasture deal, like if you're doctoring, there's nothing wrong with tying off. I don't think so. And I think it's kind of kid boy to tie off. It is. Yeah, I like it.
I mean, it's both of them. There's like really good hands that tie off, really good hands that dally. I mean, because like in the Brandon pen, like you got to know how to do, like there's an art to it, and there's a way to do it where you handle the cattle, you handle your horse, you handle your digits, and everything works out. And Donnie knows what's up.
You got to keep them digits.
Same thing with tying off. Like you need to know an extra special. It's crazy because there's like levels. It's like the horse is super inexperienced. It's best to dally. If the cowboy is super inexperienced, it's best to dally. And then there's a level where like if you know enough to handle your horse, but you're not as good at dallying, then you can tie off, and that could be safer in certain areas. And no matter what, it's always going to be a little bit dangerous.
So, I think when you go after certain cattle, whether it's Maverick cattle and cattle that you need to get off a place, and some guys say this, I believe in it, if you're tied on and you get them roped, you're there. Like that, you've got them caught. Now, if you're tied on and you're by yourself, I like to be able to line them out, bust them, and be able to step off and tie them down if there's nobody there. Now, if there's somebody there, then okay, get them roped, slow them up, let your guy come over there, head and heel them, stretch them out, and let's do it. But if you're by yourself, like you're kind of you need to kind of you need to get control of the situation. Now,
Yeah.
I think young horses, when you start doing it on young horses, it needs to be, for instance, Buckethead. Buckethead is a horse that I would trust to tie on in an open field. That way, if he does spook and he does get away, there is no trees, there is nowhere where he's going to wreck out. Him and that piece of livestock that's hooked on, if he's tied on, they're going to figure it out. And I'm pretty sure.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure Buckethead
Is going to win.
is going to win. Yeah,
Yeah.
because he's going to figure out that, dang, I'm stout, I'm strong. And so anyway, and the other thing is, in certain situations, sometimes the cowboy is more experienced and he's taking somebody that's not as experienced. So being able to have a better opportunity to take control of the situation and ask that other inexperienced person, because you're not going to get somebody, if they're inexperienced, like, I'm not going to say, hey, Donnie, that's never healed cattle before, be like, hey, go over there and heal this cow here in a minute when I get him roped. It's just you got to know what you're going into the cattle battle with. And
Donnie in that situation, he's going to say 6 words. Yes, I did have to just count the words. What are they?
I'm just here to ride broncs.
I just want to ride broncs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's okay. I think I'm going to tell y'all something right now. If I was ever to describe a good day, I think catching cattle and not crippling your horses and not getting hurt and getting bucked off, that's a good day. And catching.
Donnie and I were talking about this yesterday. Like, so you and I, we have a different upbringing than Donnie. Donnie's 25.
Yeah.
He came into the rodeo game at 24.
Mm-hmm.
He grew up tending bar.
Mm-hmm.
So he decides what he wants to do at 24 years old, and he wants to be good at it.
Mm-hmm.
He's only got so much time in the day that he's going to dedicate to this one thing if he wants to be good at it.
Mm-hmm.
You and I grew up on top of a horse, moving cows around, and we also rodeo. We've had our whole life to get good enough cowboying that we can enjoy a good day of ranching.
Yes.
What Donnie was saying, well, I'll let you talk, Donnie.
I mean, I enjoy working cows. I enjoy that stuff, but I'm not gonna get a rope down and I'm not be handy with one. Like, there's nothing I can do to help you at that kind of point.
You just said the magic words, though.
Yeah.
Because most people, and I'll say it right here, I don't care. There's a lot of people that will talk about it up here and right here until it comes time. The most important thing that you said right there is, I'm not handy enough to do, and you're okay with it. Because when people go to getting into, I would say, we'll just say a full-on cow rack, when you got a Maverick on the end of it and he wants to hook and stuff, the last person you want, the empty can rattles the most in that situation. And so the last thing that me or him want is somebody that's going to go in there not knowing what to do,
But thinking they do.
And wind up with missing teeth,
Yeah.
broken bones.
Yeah, and that's just the secret sauce. Like, the better you know yourself, which Donnie knows himself, the better you know yourself, the quicker you can get to where you want to go. And that's what there was an intern here recently, and I had to tell him real quick. I mean, like, he was, not that it was a he, but that person was 20 years old.
Yeah.
Been out of the house for 2 years.
Yeah.
And he was kind of boasting about all these jobs he had. And I was like, man, you hadn't had any jobs. He's like, yeah, I have. I've had a bunch of jobs. And I was like, no, you're 20 years old. He was like, well, sometimes I had 2 jobs at a time. And so I explained to him, number one, if you've had that many jobs in 2 years, that's not a good thing. That means you can't hold a job. But number two, if you are good enough to hold a job long enough that it matters, you haven't had but about 3 or 2 in 2 years. Like, it's just, you need to get out of this place where you think you bring all this crap to the table that you really don't. Because the point is, like, he's like thinking, like, once his mind goes to the place where he thinks he knows more than he actually does, it takes away his eagerness to learn. And then once he wrapped his mind around the fact that he didn't know anything, he's like, oh crap, I got all this stuff to learn.
And I think as far as cowboying goes,
Nothing.
he's a tired little kid boy.
Tired little gibbo.
I think as far as cowboying goes, if there's a situation, I've told you before, even gathering cattle, like, hey man, I'm really nervous about spilling cattle. I hate spilling cattle. Listen, I think spilling cattle, to me, it happens. It does. But I don't want to be, like, if I feel somebody else is riding something a little more capable than what I'm riding, I'm going to speak up.
Yeah.
Because that situation.
There's times like that. It's just, the main thing is just that you don't give up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
If I see something going down, like, you can only control what you can control. And if I see, if you're 18 seconds into it and you give up, that's the only time. Like, if you're trying your little cowboy heart out and you're riding your horse and back and forth, then, like,
everybody loses cattle. Everybody spills cattle. I get it. But I think I'm hardest on myself before anybody else is. And so I like to speak up, and it sounds like I'm talking back.
you are hard on yourself.
And yeah, because when I get into critical situations, I want to be able to thrive in that situation and come out successful, with the win. So I think, like, being in those kind of situations, I think the only way, and I'm going to talk about cowboying and roping Mavericks for real. If it's like taking a dog, a young dog, the only way they get better is they've got to be there. They've got to get involved in it, but they got to do it in a safe, knowledgeable way to where they don't get thrashed. Because getting thrashed in a cattle battle.
Yeah, that's what, I don't know nothing about it. I've been around. I've gathered cows with dogs.
Well, no,
maybe 15 times.
Well, no,
total in my life.
I'm saying the only way that anybody can get experience is by doing it.
Right. Yeah, I think so long as you bring 2 things to the table, work ethic and humility. If you don't know, if you're going to work hard and not act like you know something that you don't, then that's all you need. People will help you. But there does come a time when you do know more than the next person and you need to step up and be a leader. But
there's a difference, and you should probably know it when it happens.
Knowing the difference between those 2 times is where the secret sauce lies.
Don't ever go up to anybody when you're first starting out. Make fun of their tack, especially when you don't own any tack.
Yeah.
I make fun of
that was what that
all the
same
time.
intern did. He went up to a guy. He was like, "What's wrong with your rope? It's all messed up in the coils." And
Not cold rot. How many cows have you roped? Is what the guy said.
that was the immediate response.
Man, I don't know. I think he deserved a little more. I think someone should have sat him down and really told him.
You know what? In those situations, I have been involved in 2 situations.
You never make fun of you never make fun of people's stuff like that. Like their horse, their dog, their wife, their tack, their hat. Like, it's different if, like, Donnie and I been knowing each other and I might make some joke about some crease in the back of his hat when he gets bugged off. There's, like, little moments like that a guy can maybe, but a basic rule of thumb, especially when you're a new guy, is you don't just come after. You just don't.
No.
Guys, I mean, you just don't.
No, and like those 2 situations that I was involved in, they did involve one loading a cow, the other one catching a couple cows. And it was like, well, it doesn't look that hard to do. It doesn't. And so I am the guy that's like, I don't really want a whole lot of people to ride my horse. But I had enough because he'd been doing it and doing it and doing it. So I stepped off and handed him a rope and said, here you go. By the way, when you dally, don't look down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you think that you're that good at it, here, show me how you do it.
Yeah. That's why I tie off, by the way.
And so, like,
So I feel the need to look down.
it's like they go, and it's not because I want to, be, be a butt about it, or be like, if you can do it better, then like, I don't see you pulling up over here with a truck and a trailer and your horse is over here. Like, you're wanting to tell me, but yet you don't have a dog in the fight. So like, if you're that, like, you know what I mean? Like, and it's instantly quiet.
Cheech is getting worked up.
No,
Donnie, how was your first rodeo?
It's good. Yeah. It was a learning experience.
Dude.
I know you guys are probably wanting to hear more about it, but...
No.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, I know. But I don't have much to say about it. Like, it went good. Not as good as I wanted it to.
I just want to know.
Well, don't act like we're going to be surprised that you don't have much to say.
Yeah, well... Good.
Sometimes when we ask you, you never know. The third or fourth time we ask you, you have a different answer.
About myself.
Yeah.
I do. I really, really do. I hate.
What did you think about everything else going on at the rodeo, at your first rodeo? For instance, the other bronc riders, ranch bronc.
That was cool.
Bareback.
I liked getting
the other events. Did it make you like
around.
appreciate being a bronc rider?
Yeah, I mean, I just really appreciated getting to be around other cowboys and meeting guys that are trying to do the same thing. You know, have the same kind of aspirations and goals. And maybe
was
a little farther down the road than I am.
The difference in the practice pen compared to the rodeo setting, was it as dramatic as what I kind of let you? I mean, like, how was that difference?
I think it can be. I don't think it was this particular rodeo.
Yeah, there was like the behind the chutes was a very dull setting.
Yeah, I think it can be, but I don't think it was this particular rodeo.
Was it? What was it? Just two bronc riders out that night?
Yeah. It's
Two
just
of
me
y'all?
and another guy.
One bareback rider? Or no, it was like...
There was like 4 or 5 bareback
There's 5
riders.
bareback riders, but only one on your side.
Yeah.
Which
two
seldom
on my
happens.
side. 2 on my side.
Which seldomly happens.
Yeah, more bears than broncs.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. This was a weird weekend. There's a lot of rodeos in Texas right now because a lot of them got rescheduled to this month.
Yeah.
And it's the end of the season for everybody. So, like, everybody's spread out all of a sudden, like. But...
Dang, little kids be on the chutes and stuff. I didn't really know that was going to be a thing. That was... I don't know.
I just seen that comment, actually.
At an Emmy, yeah.
That was annoying.
So,
Yeah. Get used to that.
when
You can't tell them to get the hell out of here.
You can... Well, there's going to be other rodeos where they police it a little better.
Yeah.
I didn't like that all those kids were climbing over the alley.
Well, it was because of you. If one of them would have got over there and like thrashed, it would
First
have
of
been
all,
your fault.
I don't mind the kids.
Uh-huh.
Period. Like that's literally why I was
Secretly,
there.
he does not like. He wants to see somebody
No.
thrashed.
I
Anyway.
began to get uncomfortable and just go ahead and meet them when they were climbing over the bull alley.
Yeah.
You did go over. You did go over,
And that's
stopped
where
them
I
from-
was like, we need to put a stop to this. I'm legally the only adult around. But anyway,
yeah, folks.
I don't know. I'm not saying you're going to, I say get used to it. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. That was a typical amateur rodeo setting.
Yeah.
Is all I'm saying.
Did you feel
It was
any?
a cool rodeo. It was neat. Like, I didn't expect it. Like, the grandstands were big and they're full. And it was neat.
There's a lot of people.
Yeah.
So like, I'm trying to remember what they call that when the buck and shoots are out of the side of the arena.
You got me too, because I've totally don't know.
It's not like shotgun delivery. That's when the shoot is like when you're fighting bulls.
I would just call it a straight on delivery because it's a rectangle. Buck and shoots are on one
There's
side.
a lot of rodeos they do that. Like Rosenberg's in a couple of weeks they do that. Phillipsburg, Kansas. There's a lot of,
Whitesboro is built like that.
Mobridge.
Sykeston? Like, is that how you mean?
Sykeston's like a big triangle.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like you know how our buck and shoots are on the end of the arena
Oh, yeah.
and it goes out.
Yeah.
Like they were on the side, and that stock is like bucking towards
Cheyenne's
the
that
other
way, isn't
side
it?
of the arena. Yeah, Cheyenne technically, yes.
Yeah.
That one needs to be that way, just the way it's set up. But anyway, it didn't technically affect your ride, but sometimes it's just a little bit different. I like it when we're on the end of the arena personally. Yeah. Just that to me is like the classic setup. But that one's cool because of just it works best for the fans, you know. Mm-hmm. But anyway, like the NFR is on the end of the arena, obviously. But anyhow, so like there wasn't a jump in your conviction of this is what I want to do. Do you feel like there was like an added layer of like more confirmation, I guess, that you're on the right path?
I mean, yeah, maybe a little bit, but I think I pretty much knew.
You already knew.
Yeah.
You were already there.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need to figure out how many broncs that was. Was that like 32? 33? Something like that?
I don't know.
Well, we need to get on another one. Dude, I don't even remember my first rodeo. They were asking me, and they wanted me to talk about it, and I was like, man, I don't remember. But
did you feel like being in like on a Friday night, going up in there, the stands, under the lights? Yes, there is people, and certainly you did have a few other distractions, but I felt like you handled it very well.
Yeah, I don't know. One thing that kind of threw me off is like because I was like getting ready to get on. I thought at the very beginning.
Yeah.
We were bucking horses right away.
Bears and broncs together.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden they tell me that they moved it back to the middle. That kind of threw me off.
Yeah, so that particular rodeo, and I will say this, and I didn't think about it. I know exactly why they did that. Was because they had such a big grand entry and a big queen's
Yeah,
deal.
but Thursday night they had more entries and they ran them together. So Friday night,
but they didn't have the queen pageant and all.
Right. Friday night they had less entries, and so the secretary and one of the pickup men were like, "Yeah, they're going to run them together." And then they even loaded the Bears, backed them up to load the broncs, and then the announcer was like, "Hey, we're not doing it that way." And so that's what it like. Donnie was like, his saddle was heated up, like he had a rosin hot, like everything.
Production.
But whenever we're in the practice pen and I randomly tell you like flag girls, you know, that is what I'm talking about.
Production
like that
stuff.
kind of stuff happens at rodeos, and I'm not just telling you to get over it.
Yeah.
It's a challenge no matter what. It sucks whether it happens or it doesn't. But like, yeah, that sucks. I wish for your first rodeo it could have like, because it affects the horses too, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, there's
Especially
no
when you had to
telling
back them out. We had to, back them out a little bit.
But I was surprised that the horses tripped compared to some of the stories we had heard. But oh well, on to the next one.
Yeah.
That's what on to the next one means. Whenever you're in the truck headed away from a rodeo, your rearview mirror makes up about 3% of your windshield, and that's how much importance there is for the
Behind you.
for the rodeos behind you.
Yeah.
3 out of 100%.
I also believe too, though, when Donnie hasn't, number one, he's been on a lot of practice bucking horses here, to, be in his first rodeo. I think once you get into, so like, you work all winter long, you stay in shape, you're riding horses, but then spring comes along. Springtime, when the spring rodeos hit, it is like you're booking rodeos, you're entering rodeos, and you go. And I feel that some younger guys that are starting out in the biz, they find their groove once they go to, like, I think within 2 weeks, people normally get into their groove of, I'm I'm this, I'm that. I know what I need to do here, and so it starts fundamentally. I think a lot of foundations are built, and then it starts to grow. So like one rodeo, I would say, I think my deal to Donnie would be like, don't let one rodeo be the career, like that's gonna make or break your career. I think when you experience a spring, a summer run, and then going into making some finals, like I think a spring and a summer run is going to be really fun for you, because you've got a lot of potential to bring to it.
Yeah, it's a marathon.
For sure.
It's a marathon. It's a process. Got to commit to a process. That's with anything, but especially rodeo. Like your next bronc isn't going to care what happened on your last one, so you got to shake it off and keep rodeoing. The advice you're giving Donnie leads us into life advice.
Ooh, life advice. Stop basing one mistake that you make. Like one mistake that you make, don't let that determine the rest of your career. If you think like I think people get stuck in like, oh man, I really messed up right there, and they're so focused on not doing that one thing that they get tunnel vision, and they don't see the whole spectrum of whatever it is they're doing.
Yeah.
Like don't get tunnel visioned, and don't let that one mistake be the foundation of whether it's your career or your next move. Just go. Don't dwell on it. Just move. Keep moving. That would be my life advice.
What you got, Donnie?
I don't know. Enjoy the little things, I guess.
Bingo. Mine would be to be a Fruit Loop in a bowl of Cheerios.
I like Cheerios.
I like Fruit Loops.
I like Fruit Loops too.
Yeah. Wouldn't you be excited if you had a few Fruit Loops in your bowl of Cheerios?
Yeah. Yeah, I would.
Bingo. So that's what you need to be. Right or right, Rodeo Time Endorsee. That is his Instagram bio.
Really?
Yeah. Quoted by Dale Brisby. Thank you for watching, listening. Gosh dang,
Stop
my low
bumping your
cord.
cord.
My cord is being
If you just
tedious
quit
today.
jacking with it and just sit there.
Thank you for watching, listening this episode of the Old Sun Podcast. Dale Brisby, Cheech Nation, Donnie Ray Daytona. Don't forget to text me, 940-353-0890. Let me know your thoughts on the podcast. I'm responding usually every night. I text about 50 people, 60 people a day, sometimes depending on what I'm doing. If Donnie and I are driving somewhere and I let him drive, I might get to 200 people. So shoot me a text. Let's skip the part where you ask if this is really Dale Brisby, because it is. Also, check out dalebrisby.com. And if you're a wholesaler, reach out to Cheech, because he's the one and only rep that we have. So if you want a wholesale rodeo time, Cheech Nation.
You got a lot of, you got some new stuff.
A lot of new stuff.
Classic stuff.
A lot of new stuff.
Yeah, like that cap that you decided you were going to copy me. What else do you got that's new?
I got that Mooney Zone t-shirt.
Ooh, that's not wholesale though, is it?
I don't know. I don't think so.
No.
Yeah,
No.
that's true. Yeah, some of our exclusive, like JB Mooney, Cody Webster, True Burson, there's a few products in there that we don't wholesale. They're exclusive to the website. But also, like to thank Rock Roll Denim, Reflex. Thanks for sponsoring this podcast. Pow, pow, and on to the next one, old son.